keep having to end the stream, but I'm persistent as long as I get it on. All right, taking the outlines out because I don't need them. So I'm select everything together. Take all the outlines out, make them all the same color. And I can see that the O does not have the middle cut out of it. So let me go back, see what's up with that. So now I've welded these together, so these are one shape. So if I select it and double click it, now I'm selecting all of this whole word, this whole phrase. But I do not need life to be in this sentence. I just typed it together to get all of it because it's the same font. So I'm going to go to my shape tool. I'm going to highlight just these nodes that make up the word life. I'm going to copy and paste it. When I pasted it, it only pasted the nodes for the word life. So now I can double click this again, select all these nodes for life, and delete that. Now you see underneath is the original bitmap from when I typed it and copied and pasted, and now you have the word life up here. So now I can put this over my art. I'm going to push C to center these together on top of each other. Hold shift down and I'll adjust it to make it a little bit smaller. And I'm going to try my best to match it up exactly on these words here. I'm going to hold shift and stretch it out in both directions. Alright, I'm going to go back. So I'm going to hit Control Z all the way till I get back to these are individual letters. Before I combine them together. And the reason I'm doing that is because I see that the spacing is different from when I'm typing. So instead of me locking these in or welding them together right now, I'm gonna match the size of one of the letters first, which is the F, because it's the E, because the F of because it's on the end. And then from there, I'm gonna try to match up each individual letter the best I can right on top of the font. I also see when I'm looking at that F, there's some changes I need to make at the bottom. And I'll take care of it. I'm gonna lock this background so it doesn't move. That allows me to click on it directly and it acts as if it's part of the background, so it doesn't select it by mistake. That way, when things are on top of it and I'm working, it doesn't get in the way, and I can still use it to see like I'm doing. So now that I see that this font isn't exactly like the font that I looked up, I have to change it to match the font. It's not my logo. I'm not creating this, so we have to match it and make the small little details and changes, which is tedious, but that's good. They pay for it. Even the T being a little uneven, that's part of their font. It might have been intentional for them to, just want something different. So I'm gonna copy that look. H is pretty cool. Clean up the bottom. Nothing. I'm on live and it was loud. Yeah, and I'm still on. I'm still on here. It might be stuck. That joint was hard to close. Push it with your shoulder. So that's pretty cool on that. As you see, it pretty much matches. I'll go through and look and see if like it's just some minor stuff showing where it's a whole lot of white. But if it's like from this point and you just see like a minor shade of white, that's basically the same spot where you see that you can't differentiate between the colors because of the pixelation. I don't know if you can see that, but like in this little area, there are squares, and the squares eventually shade from the purplish color to the white. So me being that I'm going in here and changing that from pixelation to defined shape, there is going to be some overlapping where the, let's say, gray area is going to touch where I begin to make my vector lines. So don't stress if there's, a little white peeking in the corners, or, if it looks like there's a highlighted area around your vector a little bit. That's basically the residue from the pixelation, or the raster. Same work. I'm just gonna call this life home care. Now we're gonna do the word home care. Home care should be fairly easy. Bitmap, quick trace. Yeah, and as you see, that's way bolder than the doesn't have all those little fins on it, so it's a way cleaner trace. I'm just gonna ungroup it, take the background out. I'm gonna simplify this to punch a hole in the O, selecting them all, and I'm gonna try to see if I can do the same thing. Take the fill out, put an outline on it, and line it up with just one of the letters. I'm gonna change the outline to a hairline, so it'll be a real small outline, so I can really see what I'm looking at. All right, now I gotta make some adjustments on this, which is no fun. Was it Took the outline off of everything. I grouped the words together. So now a light of life. I'm gonna change the color just so you can see. It's one object. And home care is another object. So far I have two objects. Now I'm about to do the heart. As you see, it's just a little blurry, so um, I can kind of redraw this and clean it up. But they're so simple, I'm just going to do it with shapes. So I'm not going to bother redrawing the actual shape. I'm just going to use shapes to create this shape. So use a circle here, use a brassiere tool, easier tool, whatever they call it. Connect to the edge of this circle, go to the bottom of this heart, and then reconnect. That did not work, so let me go back one step and make sure that I close this shape, and then smart fill it. There we go. So now that I have these three shapes, I'm going to weld them together to create one side of the heart. Got a little trash in there. Make this see-through so I can see behind it. Put a thin outline on it that's colorful. Change the hairline. Zoom in and make my adjustments. I don't want to lose that circle shape, so I'm going to add a node and just drag this one out. Kind of looks like a peel. Now that's left is only circles and this wiggly shape. When I'm doing something like this to ensure symmetry, I like to do one side and then the other. So I'm not going to do the whole crescent moon shape. I'm going to do one side of it, which is the left side. I'm going to copy and paste it, the shape that I just made, hold shift, drag it up, and then I'm going to adjust this curve at the bottom just to close this up. So now that I got that half done, I'm going to go about halfway between the art. Halfway between these two shapes, I'll put a block there. So when I smart fill it, it only gives me half of that. It doesn't fill all this other stuff and have me having to deal with it. Now I can copy and paste, hold control, and drag my copy to the opposite side. And you see that made this shape. Weld them together, and now I have that symmetry. Delete my trash underneath it. I can even make it see-through so I can see better. Put an outline on it. I'm gonna use my little smooth tool right here on this little section right here just to get it nice and smooth out. Same here at the top where they joined it, get it nice and smooth out. And there you have a crescent shape. Smooth. Alright. So I got the heart, got the crescent shapes, got the head looking things. Now I just need this shape at the bottom. Um, Easiest way to do this, just grab my pen, go to the freehand tool, and just draw it on here with my pen. It doesn't have to be perfect. I could have went slower and got a better, shape. But since it's such a basic shape, I don't really have to worry about it. Go to my shape tool, make sure it's a closed object. I'm gonna start with my corners, making sure my corners on this are sharp. So I'm gonna put a node at the end, stretch it out, and use the arrows to angle my corner. I'm gonna make the outline thin so I can see better what I'm doing. So I'll take the outline from 0.5 to hell. Also change the outline to light blue. Now you can see my corner sharp. First you couldn't really see it because the outline had it looking like it was rounded. Alright, so we're going to draw this simple shape, or trace the simple shape. Removing those I don't need, just the ones I want to move. Again, it's not going to be, there's no way to, perfectly get on a blurry line. So you're going to have to use your best judgment to depict when you're zooming in and seeing the pixels. So I kind of decided that I'm going to go around like these little stair step ridges, and that's going to be where I decide my outline is. That way I get the same consistency of thickness when I'm making the shape, and it doesn't look weird when I get to the end of it. Also, after I make these little adjustments, I'm going to tap it with the smooth tool a couple times just to make sure I get, any minor bumps out. The smooth tool just really good at giving it that sharp look. It's also good for reducing the amount of nodes, which makes for a sharper adjustment. The more nodes you add, the more stair steps or the more bumps you add in the road. The less nodes you have, the more segments you have from A to B, which will make more smoother curves. For example, I just got rid of that node because that curve was already made. So I really didn't need that node there because it just made another stopping point in the curve, which made another slight bump in the smoothness of that line that didn't need to be there. I'm saying bump, but it's probably a better word for that. All right, so I think that's pretty good on this. Take my smooth tool, make it bigger. So I'm gonna put it on 5. Oh no, not put it on 1. Sorry. And make it pretty big though, so I could just tap a couple times. It just looks sharper. Now that I use my smooth tool, make a little bit more minor adjustments just to get it on the purple a little bit more. All right, so I got on one side, then my pick tool, say more, copy, paste that. Then I'm going to hold control and flip it. Hold shift down so I can slide it over, line it up with the paper. All right, so where this overlaps, if I color this now, this inside this circle, and I don't want that. So I'm going to hit Control Z to go back. I'm going to fill this so that it goes around this circle and it cuts out behind the pink. And then I'm going to fill this portion. The reason that I did that is so I could have this effect, this being one shape and this being two separate shapes. Now I can change this. Well, hold up before I change that. Let's see. Yes, now I can change this to pink. Join these together. So two separate shapes. I can take the everything. There's nothing on this whole art has an outline around it. So I'm gonna select everything in the art and take the outline off. Now I look to see what I got. Everything's looking real sharp. Let's see, it's half of the crescent moon has somehow disappeared. There we go, it's back. Okay, that's still there. I'm gonna copy that color. Okay, we're looking good. So the last thing we need to do now is this circle in the back with this haze around it. So it's very simple actually. Let's see. Hold down control when you're making a circle so I can make a perfect circle. Make it up the size that I see. Now I'm going to line the circle up with the actual art. That's about in the middle of this. I can hold down shift, make the circle a little bit bigger. I'm trying to get the circle in between the white, so I'm going to now adjust it without holding shift or anything, just to do my minor adjustments, which is getting this circle exactly in the middle of this white circle on all four corners. So I just have a pretty good visual eye for this, to be honest. So I'm just zooming in, scrolling in, looking, scrolling in, looking, and I say, yes, that's in the middle. So now I need to make this line as big as the outline of where the white is. So let's see, 2 outlines too small, 10 outline is the size. So I'm gonna go with OK on 10 outline. I'm gonna convert this outline object to outline, and now the outline is a solid object. So I can give it a feel. I'm gonna turn it white just to see that it's the right size. It is the right size. Okay, I'm gonna turn it just gray for now. So the effect that shadow is called in Corel Draw is just called shadow. So I'm gonna click on shadow, and I'm gonna click on the circle, and I'm gonna put the circle on top of each other. This is the direction that I want the shadow to go. I want the shadow to go all around the circle evenly. So I'm just going to place the circle on top of this stuff. I make sure I'm careful with it, that I line it up good, and I let it go. As you see, it dropped a dark shadow on top. I'm going to copy and paste this and shift over to show you so you can see better. We dropped a gray shadow behind this. So I'm going to go back to shadow so I can make changes to the shadow. The color of this shadow, I'm going to, hold on. The color of the shadow needs to be changed, and I want to use the original art. So let me unlock this, copy and paste it, slide it over. All right, so what I'm about to tell this is that I want this shadow to be this purple color. And as you see, it's now that purple. One trick that I found to make the shadow a little darker, if I copy and paste this, and I'll show you that in a second. So break curve apart. I'm sorry. Break drop shadow apart. And I have that ring by itself. So if I copy and paste on top of each other, it automatically is going to make it darker and darker. So you can pretty much copy and paste on top of each other and make it as dark as you want. I'm going to delete all those layers because I was just showing that for example. And I'm going to go back to when I first made it purple. Break drop shadow apart. And then I'm just going to look at my art and see how dark was the original. I can damn near put them side by side. Let me see, is that color need to be better? And I copied and pasted until I got it around the thickness of this piece of art over here. I could delete 2 or 3 layers off to make it a little bit brighter. Let me add one more layer, make it a little bit darker. So I'm going to I'm going to select all of these. As you see, they are in a square. I'm going to group them together, convert them to bitmap. Now that is going to lock in that color. All right. I'm going to slide it back into place. And I'm going to put it to the back of the arm. I'm going to move the original out the way so I can see what I got. Somehow my ring is gone, so I will make another one. Show you another way to make a ring. I go on the outside of where the white is, hit Control V, hold down Shift, and I'm going to go to the perimeter of the white. While holding down Shift, I'm going to select both circles, move them to the side. Use my fill tool, smart fill tool, and fill it in. Now this is the white circle, or the white ring. No outline, turn it white. Save my artwork. So in the background, I have my bitmap of the original art. I'm going to slide it over so I can see what I'm comparing to. And then I have all my work left that I did. I make some minor adjustments, but for the most part, I am finished with this piece of art. If you're looking for professional artwork, professional print, uh, screen printing, heat transfers, sublimation, vinyl cutting, holler at Circle City Inc. That's here in Indianapolis, Indiana. You also get a hold of me, Kurt Dirt Einstein, on Facebook and social media. Um, also, Prince on Instagram and social media. Appreciate you tuning in as I put the last final touches on this art. So as you see, take that off. There we go. I'm gonna take this outline off, and I'm going to select this ring in the background, and I'm going to select this white ring. So I'm selecting the fade or the shadow, and I'm selecting the white ring. I'm going to the simplify tool. When I click simplify, that ring is basically going to punch a hole in that background. See that? All right. So now, whatever shirt you printed on, this will not print white. This ring will be where the shirt shows through because there is a hole there. So the computer's not going to read this data. All right, that's pretty much it. I'm going to erase all my trash or my work, as I like to call it. Unlock this so I can delete it. Zoom in and give you one more view. First, it was pixelated, rasterized JPEG. kind of sketchy. That was how it was going to look if it went on the shirts. Now it's a sharp, vectorized image that if I endlessly zoom in, um, the details are still captured. This is good for vinyl cutting, screen printing, signs, etc., etc. Hope you learned something. Have a good one.